Hi and welcome to the video. I'm Dame and this is Dame Over, and today sees the turn of the support class in this series of videos where I talk you through the best weapons of 2018. I've shortlisted the top 5 weapons by looking at usage figures and stats from both battlefieldtracker.com and synthic.com, and now this is part 4 of this series, so if you'd like to see the previous videos, I've left links to them in the description, and if you enjoy this video and you'd like to keep up to date with any of my future posts, then make sure you hit the subscribe button, and it'd be great if you could leave a like too before you go. So let's get right into it with our first weapon, which is rated number 1 for kills and usage figures, the BAR Storm. Prior to the addition of the Parabellum and the LMG 08/18, the BAR Storm was the support class's answer to the assault class and was the go-to weapon when playing aggressively. Since the TTK 2.0 patch, it has become much harder to use though, with a slower deploy time and increased recoil and spread, but it's still capable of competing very well in close quarters combat. It's got some of the best recoil and spread figures, especially when shooting from the hip, and with the faster than average fire rate at 600 rounds per minute and the standard 4 bullets to kill at close range for the support class, it has a very fast time to kill even at mid-range. It's also one of only a few guns in the support class where trigger tapping and burst firing are really viable. The small 20 round mag is a big drawback, especially since the addition of other weapons that have very large magazines available, but the BAR Storm's quick reload time mitigates this quite a bit. It's worth pointing out that it's one of the only weapons on this shortlist that doesn't require the premium pass to use, so high usage figures make sense. Next up, we've got the MG15NA Suppressive, another base game weapon. This gun comes with a telescopic sight, a very large 200 round mag, a faster than average fire rate at 500 rounds per minute, but most importantly for a weapon suited to long range, a bipod. Overall, the stats for this gun are pretty average. Not much sticks out on paper really, so it stands to reason that its strengths lie in its versatility. It's very capable of quickly dealing with enemies at mid-range as you'd expect, but thanks to the sight and with proper use of the bipod, you can cause some real problems for snipers at long range too. Thanks to the fast fire rate and decent hip fire, even up close you've got the potential to walk away with a lot of kills too. I've lowered the magnification on the sight here, as I always do, to the lowest setting so that it makes closer range a little bit easier. The large magazine is obviously a plus point, as being able to lay down sustained suppressive fire is an incredibly useful tool, especially when using the bipod to help turn the MG15 into a laser beam. Third on our list is the LMG 08/18 low weight. This is a very recent addition to Battlefield 1, dropping with the Apocalypse DLC, and it's for that reason that it hasn't had time to compete with the other weapons on the shortlist for usage stats and overall kills. But for those players that have discovered how good it is, the number of service stars they have is testament to this LMG's abilities. I dubbed this weapon the new Parabellum in a review video I released a few weeks ago, because its fast fire rate at 600 rounds per minute, only 100 rounds per minute less than the Parabellum, and the large 100 round mag puts it solidly in the aggressive LMG category. But what is very important to remember with the 08/18 is that it has far less horizontal recoil than the Parabellum, making it far easier to control when you're moving and shooting. Using the bipod obviously reduces the recoil and spread drastically, and the 08/18's ability to burst fire accurately is an incredibly useful tool. The fast fire rate and good hip fire make it very deadly up close too, and all of these abilities make it really capable of taking you through mid-range to close quarters in an assault without reducing the potential killing power. Which brings us on to the Parabellum low weight, which before the TTK patch was the dominant force in close combat for the support class. It was and still is incredibly powerful in CQB, boasting one of the fastest times to kill out of all the weapons in the game. Since the patch, however, its viability at mid-range and especially when you're moving and shooting has been significantly reduced, requiring a far more skilled hand to do well with because of the increased recoil and the spread that's been added to the support class as a whole. Using the bipod effectively makes it almost impossible to fight against, as you can hose down your enemies with a crazy amount of rounds, usually before they have time to react. Overall, the Parabellum has become more restricted to close range fights, and with SMGs and shotguns receiving buffs, the Parabellum's efficiency against its close range competitors is not what it once was. It can still be a very powerful force in the right hands, but has understandably dropped in popularity since the end of January. Finally, we have a weapon that has become increasingly more popular since its first release with the Turning Tides DLC, the M1917MG, also commonly referred to as the Browning. I see this weapon being used a lot, and my videos often have comments about how good it is, and in my experience, I'd say that those commenters are absolutely justified. The Browning has the slowest fire rate out of the weapons in this shortlist at 450 rounds per minute, but has the largest magazine with a huge 250 rounds available after a reload. And what makes this weapon so powerful though is that it has some of the lowest recoil stats within the support class, and a staggering 65 rounds before an overheat. If you're playing defensively with this LMG, it's an absolute dream. Finding a power position or a choke point is easy to hold when you can almost continuously lay down fire, and again, having the bipod removes most of the difficulty in aiming with this weapon. Up close, it is at a disadvantage because of the fire rate and the slow deploy time, but if you can get the drop on your target, you can still easily walk away with a kill. It is a mid-range specialist weapon, and it's very hard to compete with if you can get your shots off first. And to me, it feels like one of the easiest weapons to use in the support class, which might explain the upsurge in popularity since the new year. But that's just what I think. What is your favourite support weapon of 2018? And have you found the Parabellum has lost its edge on the competition? Let me know in the comments below. And a quick thank you to those of you who are helping me to not get game over by supporting the channel through Patreon. You guys are the reason I'm able to continue making regular content, so thank you. And if you'd like to join these guys and become a patron yourself, I've left links in the description and my pinned comment to my Patreon page, where if you'd like to, you can support the channel from just $1 a month. So if you had a good time, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new around here, hit the subscribe button too. Make sure you've hit the bell button for notifications to guarantee getting alerted to new posts. Feel free to share this video with whoever and wherever you like. And until next time, that's Dame over. Peace.